candidates in anticipation of the all-important 2024 general election. As you guys would have known, some 2 weeks ago, we announced the first of our premier candidates, and that is the son of the late Mangope from Botswana, Kgoshikgwena Mangope, and he has hit the ground running in the Northwest, and the work coming out of there is looking very good already, and we are pleased with the progress made. And today, we hope that the escalation and intensification of the work to be done in the Northern Cape will be inculcated and be driven forward by the candidate that the president of ActionSA will announce. Just by way of introduction, I want to introduce to the left of the president is Mr. Lance Punawasi, who is the Northern Cape's campaign manager and provincial spokesperson for the Northern Cape. And to my immediate left, as you all know, a man that needs no introduction, President Herman Mashaba. I don't want to keep you guys for too long. You know I don't like to run a long press conference, and let's get to the business of the day. I will hand over to Mr. President for you to set the scene and let everyone know in further detail as to why we're here this morning.
Thank you, Sam, and good morning to all fellow South Africans watching us on our social media platforms, but in particular to really thank the ANC, the SABC for really making the time to come and honor us with their presence to this very important national project. Let me first let South Africans know why we're announcing this Northern Cape premier candidate in Johannesburg, in Gauteng, as we did with Northern Cape. I think, first of all, I think one looks at logistically what is really possible. I think we're aware that the media, mainly it's here in Johannesburg, and we would like to really make it easier for media to really be able to capture national news without having to travel long distances as such. And secondly, I think, for us as ActionSA, we regard this announcement is very important because it's part of our 2024 project. 24 project where we believe very strongly that next year's provincial and national elections are going to be a defining moment for our country. These elections are going to determine whether South Africa succeeds or fails. We are aware we're sitting with over 25 million plus South Africans who've chickened out of politics, which is something not really good for our democratic process. So therefore, for us as ActionSA, we've taken it upon ourselves to ensure that we can get as many South Africans interested in politics as possible. Not just to get interested in politics, get and take responsibility for their future, because their future is not really dependent on ActionSA or on politicians. It's dependent on them holding politicians accountable. We need the majority of South Africans to take and hold politicians accountable. Fellow South Africans, learn to understand the power of democracy. We cannot afford to have a situation where this country is led by a military government, or we don't want to end up in a country where we are led by one corrupt political party because they have compromised all state institutions, like what has happened in Zimbabwe and other parts of our continent. So for us as South Africans, as ActionSA, we are saying, this is not going to happen under our watch. We are going to do everything in our power to ensure that South Africans protect this country. And the only way they can protect this country, protect their future and the future of their children, is by voting. So we made a commitment as a 3-year-old party that come 2024, we are going to contest all 9 provinces, including at a national level. And we've just come out of a very successful policy conference. Our policies are very clear. Our policies are not the run-of-the-mill kind of policies, are policies that actually speak to the lived experience of South Africans. And we committed to those policies. Some of them, some people might take them to be controversial, but one thing that we must accept, we have to ensure that as government, we speak to the lived experiences of our people. Cannot live in a country where you look at all the indexes. South Africa is actually at the bottom of literally each one of them. Just a few days ago, the Minister of Finance, who's today, this afternoon, going to be delivering his medium-term budget policy, which we know ourselves that our finances are not looking good. He's already sent a warning shot to the president and his cabinet that in the event that they don't really watch the finances, South Africa by February, March, we're going to run out of finances. What I've just really learned coming here is that we can expect a 50 billion rand shortfall in revenue collection. But at the same time, you look at where our government is spending its money on vanity projects. You know, as a human being, as a family, you don't have to really go to school to learn that if you earn 1,000 rands a month, you can't spend 1,500. And spending that 1,500 on vanity projects, you have to really learn to live within your means. As government in particular, we need to invest in our infrastructure. We need to invest in our human capital. We cannot afford to be in a situation where we know the 700,000 matric students writing today that the future looks bleak for them. Very bleak. Where are they going to find employment opportunities? So we need to create an environment that can ensure that we produce excellence in education so that our people are properly trained with the right type of skills that can really grow our economy and encourage investments, both local investment and foreign direct investments. And those are things that we as ActionSA are committed to. But we can only achieve that if we are serious about dealing with lawlessness that is prevalent in South Africa at the moment. If you want to destroy the country, destroy the rule of law. And that's precisely what's really happening at the moment. So we need to capacitate our law enforcement agencies. Not only capacitate them, we have to really make them independent of political interference. We need our law enforcement agencies with the ability to prosecute without any fear or in favor. We want all these criminal elements to understand you commit crime in this country under ActionSA government, you will pay a price. You will regret ever having committed crime. If you want your rights to be protected, then don't commit crime. We cannot live in a country where the sovereignty of our country is so compromised by these porous borders. This is something that I think South Africans are concerned about. More especially our poor communities, because when we have people of the world coming into this country, where do they go to? They go into poor communities and take jobs of South Africans. South Africa, one thing I want to make it clear, was built at the back of migrants, and we need to continue bringing people of the world to come to South Africa. But people must come here legally, and when they're here, to respect our laws. There's just no way as ActionSA we are going to allow any country in the world to give their problems to South Africa to solve. We've got 12 million of our own people, particularly the youth, who needs to really be given opportunities. And we are unapologetically going to give a preference to South Africans. But at the same time, we will look after people of the world coming here, running away from the military or uncomfortable political environment. But they must come here and they must be documented. We cannot afford to have a situation where people tell us they are running away from prosecution, but during the holidays they go home. including the United Nations, is very, very clear about that. For you to qualify to really get asylum status, you must be in a position where you cannot go back to your country. So at the moment, for South Africa to allow this situation to continue, it is not going to happen. It is for that reason we are excited as ActionSA, cautiously excited, because we know it's not going to be an easy journey. And for our preparations for the 2024 elections, we're contesting all 9 provinces. 2-3 weeks ago, we've already announced our first provincial chairperson, Khosikwena Mangope, who, as Sam has already indicated, has already hit the ground running. People of former Bophuthatswana in the Northwest, I can tell you, personally, I can show you the hundreds of messages I'm receiving from people of the Northwest congratulating ActionSA for having chosen Khosikwena Mangope as our premier candidate. Now, this morning, it is my pleasure. It is my absolute pleasure to announce our premier candidate for the Northern Cape, someone who has got many years of experience. And I think before I announce the person, I just really need you as the media and South Africans to know why we are announcing one at a time. I think as a new party, only 3 years old, we will only announce the provinces depending on their readiness, because there is certain milestones that provinces have got to meet before we can announce a premier candidate. And we have committed as Senate that we will conclude this process by end of February at the latest. So we don't have much time. So all our provincial chairpersons in other provinces are under immense pressure to ensure that they get themselves ready so that we announce them. So on the 13th of this month, we're going to be down in KZN announcing the premier candidate for KZN. The other provinces, we're working with the provincial chairpersons to identify the candidates, at the same time to make sure that they meet the milestones that we've given them to really be able to be announced as candidates for ActionSA come 2024. That being said, it is my pleasure to introduce Andrew Louw, our current provincial chairperson in the Northern Cape. He met all the criteria that we, as a Senate, put forward to really have someone of his stature and character to really be the right candidate to be ActionSA premier candidate. I'm excited. I got to know Andrew when I was with my former party, a man of character, a man of ethical leadership, the man I'm prepared, we are as ActionSA prepared to really work with. I was in the Northern Cape, I think 2-3 months ago. I came back there, and in fact, I put it on social media. I said to South Africans, there's something happening in the Northern Cape. And whatever is happening is going to shock South Africa. So, Andrew, thank you so much, firstly, for having accepted to be the provincial chairperson for the Northern Cape. And we are really and truly grateful for the work that you've already done, which I hope you will share with South Africans what you've done up to date to convince us to announce you today as the premier candidate for the Northern Cape. And I'm confident personally that you will deliver Northern Cape for ActionSA, for people of Northern Cape, but generally and broadly for South Africans. I think you are well known in the province, and I'm excited and really and truly look forward to talking to you. Today is not my day, it's your day to tell South Africans why you believe you're the right man for the job. From my side, thank you very much. Andrew, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Goeiemorgen, dumelang. Esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, our President of ActionSA, Mr. Herman Mashaba, our National Chairperson, Mr. Michael Beaumont in absentia, colleagues and the media present today, welcome to this press conference. Today I stand before you, not just as a political leader, but as a fellow member of this progressive party, ActionSA, one of the fastest growing political parties in South Africa and in the Northern Cape Province. As we approach this critical juncture of preparing for the 2024 general elections, I wish to share with you why I'm deeply humbled and committed to be nominated as Premier candidate for the Northern Cape Province. Before I get to the bolts and nuts of today's event, allow me to express my great appreciation to Mr. Herman Mashaba, the President of ActionSA. Your political astuteness, your ethical leadership makes it easy to follow you. Therefore, ActionSA, the party that you gave birth to, must be truly grateful to have you as a leader and as an incoming president. I, like many others, can confidently confirm that South Africa will be in good hands to be led by you as an incoming president to fix South Africa, because you can. Indeed, I'm humbled that ActionSA has appointed me to this mammoth task to run as Premier candidate in the Northern Cape Province. My fellow Actioneers, my appointment is not a birthright, but a gesture of trust encapsulated by the values of ActionSA, underpinned by the commitment and accountability to public service above all other responsibilities, an insistence on excellence in the provision of government services to communities, a declaration that corruption, all forms of wrongdoing, and unethical behavior must have consequences, a solution-orientated approach for communicating our offer to the South African people. I'm a man who was born in the dusty streets of Galeshewe. I completed my primary and high school education in Kimberley. Thereafter, I managed to study part-time at Louw, Wits, etc. I'm a firm believer in family values and married to my wife, Mariam, for 25 years, with 3 children, 1 girl and 2 boys. I spent the better part of my life in Kimberley, where I worked for a few companies, and my last employer was Transnet, here in Johannesburg and in Kimberley. I worked as a customer services manager in Transnet. Thereafter, I joined the political madness as a PR councillor in the Solplaatjie municipality in 2006. Shortly after the election in 2009, I was elected as a member of parliament in Cape Town. I served in the shadow cabinet as a shadow minister in Labour. My groundbreaking moment in parliament was when the issue of labour brokers became a storm in a teacup. As a shadow minister for the Labour, together with other political parties, we managed to table an alternative instead of a total banning of labour brokers at the time. My stay in Parliament was short. Thereafter, I was redeployed back to the Northern Cape Province in the legislature due to a vacancy that arisen. I was compelled to stand in big shoes long before my time. I was but a political novice, yet thrown into the deep blue waters with little experience. It was uncharted waters, but groundbreaking moments emanated from hard work, which ultimately resulted in being the official opposition. My political journey has been shaped by years of dedicated service within our community. I have worked tirelessly alongside each day with every person on the ground. This invaluable experience has instilled in me a profound sense of empathy, enabling me to comprehend the nuanced challenges that our diverse populace faces every day. Moreover, I firmly believe that effective leadership demands more than just expertise in policy and governance. It demands a deep-rooted sense of connection and understanding of the people you serve. Throughout my tenure, I shall endeavor to build bridges and foster unity, transcend the divides to create a cohesive and inclusive environment for all. I believe in order to lead a sparsely populated and multicultural population like the Northern Cape Province requires a vision that respects diversity and promotes development. My ultimate goal is to create a sense of unity and belonging amongst the different ethnic and religious groups in the province, while also celebrating their unique cultures and traditions. I would also strive to improve the living standards and opportunities for the people in the province, especially in the rural and remote areas, by investing in infrastructure, education, health, and natural resources. I would seek to balance the needs of the environment and the economy by promoting sustainability and responsible use of the land, water, and minerals. I would also encourage cooperation and collaboration with the neighboring provinces and countries, as well as with the national government and international organizations. By doing so, I hope to lead the Northern Cape province to a better future by introducing ethical leadership and promoting a public service that will work for the people. Beyond the realms of politics, my dedication to this province has transcended the limitations of my role. I have actively participated in grassroots initiatives, striving to create a positive impact that reverberates through every neighborhood and every household. My commitment to fostering a culture of growth and prosperity within our community remains unwavering. My vision for our future is not one that is shaped in isolation, but one that is crafted through collective aspirations and shared values. It is a vision that encapsulates the hopes and dreams of each member of this diverse province, ensuring that no voice goes unheard and no individual will be left behind. As a lifelong resident of the Northern Cape, I have a deep understanding of the unique challenges our province faces. From economic development to employment levels, from tackling corruption to addressing violence and crime, I'm committed to finding innovative solutions that will improve the quality of life for all residents. I stand here today not asking for blind allegiance, but urging you to put your faith in a party that does not just walk the talk, but walk alongside you, shoulder to shoulder, every step of the way. With your support, I'm confident that together we can build a future that not only meets our needs, but also paves the way for generations to come. Innovation at the heart of my approach. I believe that by embracing new ideas and technologies, we can ensure the highest level of service delivery across all sectors. My communication skills have allowed me to build a strong relationship with stakeholders at all levels, fostering a collective approach in problem solving. I understand the constitutional framework that governs provincial competencies and legislatures, and I'm committed to upholding these principles in all my actions as your incoming Premier. What is wrong in the Northern Cape? The Northern Cape is the highest populated province in South Africa and contributes to the least to national input. The growth rate has consistently declined since 2011. Employment levels are low compared to the national standards, and with the absorption rate declining from 39.1% in 2010 to 34% in 2011. According to Stats SA, the food insecurity level is above the national average of 15.8%. Corruption is a serious challenge in the Northern Cape. Residents have blamed corrupt officials for poor service delivery in local and provincial governments. High-profile government employees have been held accountable for money squandering, but millions remains unaccounted for. Like many South Africans, the people of the Northern Cape are adversely affected by violence and crime. In addition, unemployment and poor access to opportunities result in abject poverty. Despite improvements in infrastructure, there are still challenges related to transparency, accountability, and return on investment for national and provincial interventions. These challenges require strategic leadership and innovative solutions to improve the quality of life for residents of the Northern Cape. ActionSA offer to voters of the Northern Cape. This is what we, as ActionSA, would like to offer the people of the Northern Cape. The Northern Cape province, as we know, is the largest and most diverse province in our country, but sparsely populated. This province has a unique and beautiful landscape that combines a desert and coast, creating a contrast in climate and scenery. In addressing the 42.4% youth unemployment, a number of drastic changes need to happen immediately. If one considers the appetite levels of voting in the province, the stats speak volumes. Many people are not interested in voting anymore. The reasons are obvious. The living condition of most of the people are worrisome. People are sick and tired to listen to empty promises. The only time political parties are around when they need our votes. This is what voters complained about. Action SA is in the business to capture all those voters who have lost the urge to go out to vote, starting with our burst campaign on the registration weekend in November. Since the novelty wore off, the governing party have lost credibility in the Northern Cape province. Let me give you a rundown on how the voters of the province have lost confidence in the ruling party. In 2014, the ANC got 64.4% with a voter turnout of 71.3%. Thereafter, in 2019, the ANC got 57.54% with a voter turnout of 64%. In 2011, the ANC got 50.5% with a voter turnout of 53%. The most significant drop has been in 2019 and 2021 by 11%. This is the game-changing moment for parties like Action SA. We will most definitely get into that space. My appointment in September 2022, several political activities happened on the ground. Action SA started hitting the ground running by launching branches in the entire province. In Kimberley, my hometown, of the 33 wards in the Solplaatje municipality, 26 branches have already been launched. In Pokwani area, which is one of the strongholds of the ANC, Action SA has a footprint. All the wards have Action SA branches. It's electrifying to see how Action SA is fast becoming a home brand to many disillusioned voters in the province. As late as 2 weeks back, Action SA launched branches in rural areas like Kuruman. We have a footprint in Matoro, Mokalanoga, Tsineng, Gasese, Mokajeng, Dunakeng, and the list can carry on. These are deep rural areas which politicians never visit because the road infrastructure is non-existent. At the same time, the voters have politically migrated to Action SA as the only beacon of hope to transform the living conditions of the rural community. Many of these people were lost and left in the dark. Load shedding is nothing new to them because they never had electricity for the past 30 years down the line. This is an indictment on human rights of the forgotten community. A strong political will must transcend to turn the tables around to the betterment of all the people. The province has 5 regions, and as Action SA, we advocate that each region be capacitated with an agricultural school to protect food security. Food security is a situation where people have access to food of quality and quantity all the time. Despite great agricultural potential, the people in this beautiful province is food insecure. The main cause of failure being lack of technical skills in the agriculture sector in the province. These agricultural challenges must train trainers, researchers, farmers, and officials. The lack of this type of training worsens the food security in the province. As Action SA, we have this in good authority that the budget for agriculture colleges has never been used because the province has no colleges. To attract investors and more agricultural experts, agricultural colleges must be established across all 5 regions as a matter of urgency. The province is blessed with 2 rivers, the Vaal and Orange River, which are the lifeline of the agricultural economy in the Northern Cape. Now farmers and non-community farmers and students is obliged to travel outside the province to obtain agricultural training. In the long run, the province loses this expertise. The province occupies 30% of the land of South Africa. It is a moisture-stressed province. Therefore, in these colleges, the curriculum must meet the desires of the men in the street. Action SA will ensure that agricultural colleges are properly funded and resourced to address the imbalances created by this current government. ActionSA methodology to address the 42% youth unemployment rate in the Northern Cape province. I've been deeply concerned about the skills gap that proliferates the high rate of youth unemployment in our province. It will only result, as a result, facilitate a collaboration of all mining executives in the Northern Cape province to partner with the University of Solplaiki, TVET colleges to develop skills that will solve youth unemployment in the province. According to the latest stats, 66.5% of young people aged between 15 and 34 are unemployed. This is not only a social problem, but also a threat to the sustainability and competitiveness of our mining industry. I believe one of the main causes of youth unemployment is a mismatch between the skills demanded by the labor market and the skills supplied by the education system. Many young people lack the technical, vocational, and employability skills that are required to entry-level jobs in mining and related sectors. Moreover, many young people are unwavering of the career opportunities and pathways that exist in the industry. That is why I've decided to initiate a partnership between the Northern Cape Chamber of Mines, the University of Solplaiki, and the TVET colleges in our province. The aim of this partnership is to develop and implement a comprehensive skills development program for young people who are interested in pursuing a career in mining or related sectors. I also need to remind you, colleagues, one of the issues that's very close to my heart. The Northern Cape government is abdicating their responsibility of creating jobs and making sure that we're filling potholes to the mining industry. The mine houses in the province, we are sitting with approximately 46 mines in the province. The primary responsibility of the mining sector, they must create jobs. And that is where we as ActionSA will be coming in. Of the 42.4% young people who are unemployed, we need to make sure that the mines, they become the primary job creators. And we also need to take back the responsibility of the provincial government. They must make sure that they fill the potholes. They must make sure that they buy ambulances because they get the money from our taxes to do that. What is happening now? Many of the mine houses, they have taken over that responsibility. That is not their job. Their job is to create jobs and to make sure that the economy of the province is thriving, so that government must become the enabler. Government must become the person or that body that will create a conducive environment where jobs will be created. That is government's job and not something else. I've got it on good authority because I've engaged with some of these mine houses. As we speak, some of them, they don't even want to give money to the local municipalities where they are operating from. The reason for that is the money simply just disappears. The money disappears. What they're doing now is they want to do things themselves. That is why I'm telling you that the municipality are failing to fix the potholes. The mine is doing it on their behalf. They are too scared to give them the money to do that because the money simply just disappears. We need to have a zero approach towards corruption as ActionSA. We can never allow that these things will happen on our watch. We must start growing our own timber. In addition, this is a vision of harness homegrown talent to accelerate the socio-economic growth of our province, the Northern Cape. The Northern Cape is a land of great potential and diversity. We have rich natural resources such as minerals, diamonds, and renewable energy. We have a vibrant agricultural sector producing grapes, dates, nuts, and livestock. We have a unique cultural heritage, with the San people being the oldest living population group in the world. We have a strategic location bordering Namibia, Botswana, and 4 other South African provinces, yet many of our skilled graduates are still unemployed. It is ironic that the province with the lowest population density is with the highest unemployment rate in the country. Not to mention the poor infrastructure and service delivery in many areas. We also are on the top list of low levels of education and skills, creating creating intergenerational high rates of poverty and inequality. How do we overcome these challenges and unlock our potential? How do we create a better life for ourselves and our children? The answer is simple. We need to invest in our people. We need to train our homegrown talent. We need to empower our local communities to participate in the economy and the benefits from its growth. We need to create a culture of excellence and innovation that attracts and retains investors and entrepreneurs. I believe that the Northern Cape has the talent and potential to become a leading province in South Africa and beyond. But we cannot achieve this if we are not self-reliant and proactive. We need to nurture our local talent, especially those who are in the fields of science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and innovation. We need to provide them with quality education, training, mentorship, and career opportunities. We need to celebrate our local heroes, especially those who have achieved success in their respective fields and have contributed to the development of our province. We need to recognize them as role models and ambassadors of our province. Needless to mention, but I'm not saying that we should exclude or discriminate against outsiders who come to work or invest in our province. On the contrary, we welcome them with open arms and appreciate their contribution to our economy and society. But we also expect them to respect our culture, our values, and aspiration. We expect them to integrate into the help, develop our communities, and become part of our team. We expect them to share our knowledge. We expect them to share their knowledge, skills, and experience with our local people. We do not want outsiders who come here only to collect a paycheck or a quick profit. We do not want outsiders who treat our province as a temporary or a only good enough to help step up their careers with no intention to accelerate socio-economic development. We do not want outsiders who exploit our resources or abuse our people and leave the province in a worse state than what they find it in. We want outsiders who come here with a genuine interest and commitment to our province. We want outsiders who treat our province as their home or their partner. We want outsiders who add value in our resources and empower our people. Another very important issue that affects us all in the Northern Cape, the health and wellness of our people. As you know, our province faces many challenges in providing quality healthcare services to our communities. We have a shortage of health facilities, equipment, and suppliers. But most importantly, we have a shortage of health workers, especially nurses. According to the latest stats, we have only 4.6 nurses per 10,000 population, which is far below the national average of 14.7. This means that many of our people do not have access to basic healthcare services such as immunization, antenatal care, family planning, and emergency care. That is why I will initiate a program to recruit and train and deploy 200 new nurses in our province over a next 5-year period. The program will consist of 3 main concepts. And because I'm so passionate about this one, it is important for me to inform you that in the Northern Cape province, we've got 5 regions. Now, these 5 regions, what is of concern to me, we forever would see that people, especially those in our rural parts of the province, they are completely being forgotten. It's no wonder that unemployment is so high, because these are people and their children who will never get an opportunity to form part of the main economy. Unless, of course, if we take a deliberate and meaningful political decision that will also speak to the needs of those forgotten people in the province. I will allocate sufficient funds from the provincial budget and seek additional funds from the national government and other partners. I will liaise with the Henrietta Stockdale Nursing College and the district municipalities to design and implement a high quality and relevant nursing curriculum that meets the needs and standards of our province. I will monitor and evaluate the impact and outcomes of the program on the availability, accessibility, quality, and efficiency of healthcare services in our province. It is an indictment And here I speak with authority because I've experienced it myself, that when you phone for an ambulance, I've seen so many people who die at home. I've seen so many community people who have completely lost hope. Because if you can't get a private person that can commute you from point A to point B, people are in the mercies of God. Because an ambulance will never arrive. Now, to use this as an example all the time about a budget, that must come to an end. The money which derives from the national fiscus is available in order to make sure that we create an enabler so that people can have access to ambulances, people can have access to police, people can have access to agriculture, and the list can carry on. I'm confident that this program will contribute to our social responsibility and health wellness advanced as a province. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that by using our homegrown talent to accelerate provincial economic growth, we will not only create more jobs and income for ourselves, but also more pride and dignity for ourselves. We will not only improve our living conditions and well-being, but also our social cohesion and harmony. I will not only enhance our competitiveness and productivity, but also our creativity and innovation. In closing, allow me to boldly say that ActionSA is motivated by a vision of a Northern Cape where every resident has access to opportunities, where our economy is robust and inclusive, and where clean governance delivers to all the people. With your support, I believe we can make this difference. I'm looking forward. And I'm very excited. Immediately after today, we will be hitting the ground running. We will be putting up already our roster that clearly defines which areas we'll be visiting. We'll be going door to door, community to community, municipality to municipality. I'll be embarking on a listening tour to go and reach out to the many people of the Northern Cape province in order to understand. Because one of the things that we as politicians so often make, we think we know the answers of the people on the ground. We need to go out there. I will go out and I will be listening to the needs and the desires of each and every member of the Northern Cape province. I thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Andrew, for that impassioned speech. Guys, as you know, we've reached that part of the proceedings where we will have questions and answers. So if you can just let me know and indicate to me by raising your hand and articulating which news and media house you're from and to whom your question is directed, and I'll get the gentleman on the panel to answer any questions you may have. So over to you. Are there any questions that you might have?
Oh, okay. Sorry. It's Natasha Perry here from SABC News. Thanks for inviting us. So you've outlined a number of things that you would do should you be Premier, Mr. Louw. You've also highlighted the fact that you're the former DA provincial lead and the Shadow Minister of Labour. Under your tenure, the DA became the official opposition, well, the biggest official opposition in the Northern Cape. Will you do the same when it comes to ActionSA? What attributes and values would you actually bring to the party? Yes. Yeah, I think, yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, my name is Ntebo. I'm with the SAPC. I mean, the only one. I don't have to say the SAPC, but nonetheless, I'm Ntebo. I'm with the SAPC. That Mashaba, you said there are certain milestones that some would-be premier candidates for ActionSA would have to meet before you can announce them. I wish I could know what are those key milestones. And secondly, to the premier candidate from the Northern Cape, in fact, your speech is sellable. Everyone would want to listen, and sometimes I'm reminded of South African politicians. They are so smart in talking. But after you've done your research on the ground, how many people in the Northern Cape would you say lost hope in terms of voting? And maybe you would be targeting them, because we are told that there are around 14 million people who are eligible to vote, but they're not interested. And now they run into over 20 million, I'm told, who ought to have registered, but they haven't. And those who have registered and they have never voted. And what are your prospects? Do you see yourself as the next government in the Northern Cape, the official opposition in the Northern Cape? What is your prospect looking like in terms of you governing that province? That's it for now.
Thank you so much. Andrew, if you would answer your questions, and then Mr. Mashaba will answer thereafter.
Most certainly. Ntebang, thank you very much. Ntebong. Ntebo. Yeah. Thanks very much for that. I think what's important at the moment, I just want to take you back on the stats that I've just given you with reference to the decline of the governing party in the province. And I mean, these are things that we cannot run away from. Stats, they are there, and they are there to be researched. We are talking about, before I get to the issue to say what are our prospects, I need to take you down memory lane to say, in terms of the stats at the moment, I'm going to give you that last sentence. Yeah, here we are. There's 11% decline. 11% of decline. Yeah, here's the thing that I was looking for. If you will allow me, let me give you a rundown on how the voters in the province has lost confidence in the ruling party. I was saying, in 2014, the ANC got 64.4%, with a voter turnout of 71.3%. Thereafter, 2019, the ANC got only 57.54%, with a voter turnout of 64%. 21, this is the one. In 2021, the ANC got 50.5%, with a voter turnout of 53%. This was the most significant drop of 11% between 2019 and 2021. Now, here's the thing. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to understand that the people have lost hope and confidence in the ANC in the Northern Cape province. The figures are there. If you look at the people who are not turning up to come and vote, there's a big margin. We are talking about a figure of 62,000 people who have registered to vote that did not rock up voting day to come and vote. Now, to me, it tells us as ActionSA that we can get into that space. We need to become a party of choice for people who have completely become disillusioned. And that is exactly what we're doing right now. But something that is even more triggering, as I'm engaging with people on the ground, some people that I knew never used to support me previously. Today, it's a complete different ballgame. It's a complete different ballgame. And some of them, I engage with them on a personal level. And I would ask them, I don't understand. I see you wearing an ActionSA t-shirt. I've never campaigned you. I've never recruited you. Can you please tell me where does it come from? He says, you know what? We believe that ActionSA is the only beacon of hope that can save South Africa. And that is why people are coming in their numbers. Some of them we have checked, 2 weeks ago, on our database. There are people lying there, almost 5,000 people. Those people were not people that we have recruited. They are on our database as people that have registered on the database. So the only conclusion that we can come to as people that believe in the philosophy of ActionSA, as people that knows that we are the only most credible political party that can change the political landscape of the Northern Cape and its people. And Natasha Piri from the SABC, the attributes and the values that I bring to the party. During my time, while I was serving in a different capacity, I think now than ever before, ActionSA is growing very fast in the Northern Cape. And for me, that is very pleasing. To date, as we speak, I've started in September, 26 September last year to be specific. To date, we are sitting with a membership of slightly over 8,000 to date. And in my hometown, in Kimberley, where I was born, we are sitting with a membership of 4,200 people. Out of that, We are sitting with 33 wards. 26 of them have already been launched. And the rest of them, they are ready to be launched. As we speak today, now, we'll be launching another 2 branches in Kimberley, my hometown. People are rocking up. You know, we don't need to transport people to come to our branch launches. We gave them notice according to our procedures in our interim constitution. We give them notice about, and we inform them about the branch launches, and then people would come up. We form quorums easily. It's not difficult to go and beg people to get them, to go fetch them at home to come and so on. And those are some of the things that really keeps me going. And those are the things, when I look at it, I can see that there is a real appetite. There's an appetite for something fresh, an appetite for something new. And ActionSA has become that something new that people are so much looking forward to. It will be a groundbreaking moment for us come to elections 2024. At the moment, it is a given that the Northern Cape province is up for the grabs. It is ready to be taken over. And we as ActionSA, we will become that anchor tenant of that coalition that will be in the Northern Cape province or elsewhere. We will be that anchor tenant that will make sure that it happens. But for now, we go for the kill. That is what we're looking at.
Can I deal with Debo's question in terms of the milestone? But I think let me start first to address Natasha's question, as much as it was not really directed to me. Natasha, as I indicated during my opening remarks, I was in Kimberley 2-3 months ago. I was really humbled, shocked by my personal experiences. I went into the area to go and assist with certain issues. Mainly, the plan was to go into the first commemoration of Fake Mentor's passing. And while I was there in the Kimberley, I attended a branch launch, one branch. I think it was Ward 33. Huh?
3.
Huh?
Ward 3.
Ward 3, sorry, not 33, Ward 3. I've never seen anything like that. Here in Gauteng and elsewhere where, you know, I've attended what we call super launches. Super launches, that's when I'm invited where I said, I only come when you launch a minimum of 5 branches. I was invited to this launch of Ward 3 in Kimberley. I've never seen so many people. We had more people outside than inside. People were packed, jam-packed in a wall. I think we had about 200-300 people, whatever number it is, and outside. We were launching one branch. And then the following day, we had one of the big churches with the religious leaders for the commemoration of his fake mentor. The very same thing happened at this event. The church packed, more people outside than inside. And that's when I realized, and I actually, on my way back, tweeted that something is really actually happening on the ground. The ActionSA wind has caught up with South Africans, particularly here in the Western Cape, in the Northern Cape. When I came back, the first Senate meeting, I reported to them that colleagues have just really experienced something quite overwhelming, that Northern Cape is going to shock us. Because also, one of the days, because I spent 2 nights or so, one of the days we went to one of the shopping centers doing a walk-up about. And as we parked our car, people were just really passing, immediately stopped, wanting to take pictures with me. I mean, in Kimberley, how do people really know about me? And my car is not really branded, but I don't know, they saw me. And in the shopping centers, it was like I was a rock star. I experienced being a rock star where people were leaving the shops, come out wanting to take pictures. So that obviously one does not really need formal research to actually understand that there is something really happening in the Northern Cape. It is for that reason, now coming back to the question from Debo regarding the milestone. This is one of the milestones, Debo, as to what informs our decision why we would really go for a particular province to announce their premier candidate. Also, ethical leadership. I think I've really had an opportunity when I was with my previous party, when I decided to leave my business to be part of saving our country. So I had an opportunity to get to know Andrew. And I found him to be, honestly, an exceptionally ethical person. I cannot really fault him. I'm not saying he's perfect, because if you're looking for a perfect person, I can tell you I'll be the last one in terms of the numbers. But I think right now, my knowledge and my interaction with Andrew has really passed all the test as far as ethical leadership is concerned. Also, what is important, it's a commitment to public service, because as ActionSA, we've always made it really very clear. We're not in this business to make friends. You've got to really be a public servant because you're interested in public service. And that's really one of the attributes that Andrew has got. It's for him, this is not about looking for a job. It's about really saving his community, his country, and so forth. Also, what's driving us to make a decision is to really look at the membership, scientific membership, not what you've got in your head. You tell us you've got members, but you can't really prove it to us. I think Andrew shared with you stats of what they've got, including the number of branches already launched, just in Kimberley alone. And that's where a big percentage of the voters of the Northern Cape comes from. And we've already launched how many branches?
26.
26 out of 33. 33. And we will be launching. There will be launching more in coming weeks. So you've got Kimberley behind you as a political party. You've got the Northern Cape. So I'm really pleased with that. And I think one of the attributes that Andrew has, it's a team player. For me, it is in my nature. I know success is dependent on really being a player, a team player, because you just cannot succeed if you think you are above everybody else. And he's the kind of leader that will challenge you, because one of the biggest fears I've always had throughout my life is to be surrounded by weak people who don't challenge me, because I was trained by my grandfather, who I always refer to. I don't know whether it is for good or for bad, but I think I'm so grateful to my grandfather, who taught me to stand for my right. That's why some people take me to be a dictator, or some people think I'm arrogant or I'm difficult. Why? Because I stand for my ground. And why I'm always scared to be surrounded by weak leadership is because life is not perfect. I've always accepted life not to be perfect. And God has given us as human beings this little brain to use to navigate those challenges. And to navigate those challenges, that means we've got to challenge life all the time. We'll not really be scared of taking chances. But now you can imagine if you are surrounded by weak people, because they think because you're a leader, you can get away with it. Andrew actually has passed the test as far as I'm concerned, that he's not going to really let me or anyone do as they please. He is the kind of leader that challenges. And why I'm saying he's a team player. When we've all agreed this is the route, he's really one of the best players. And also, very lastly, is that hard work pays. And Andrew has got that attribute. He's not the kind of person that says, I'm being made to work hard. In fact, one thing I've discovered, realized with him is that it looks like he's the kind of person that enjoys hard work, because hard work pays. I'm a living example of what hard work can do. And those are the things we look at for us to allow announcement of a premier candidate for other regions. And 13th of this month, we'll be launching KZN. We're working around the clock to ensure that we identify the right candidates, and obviously the candidates who can meet this criteria, because we have a deadline, a Senate resolution to ensure that by end of February next year, all 9 provinces are covered by competent premier candidates that can deliver the provinces for ActionSA.
Just one question. And with due respect, I know that the briefing was not made. I wish I could know how far are you in terms of helping the families of the 3 Lily Mines victims? I know that at some point you were spearheading or heading the court action. I wish I could know how far have you gone in terms of realizing justice for those families.
Thank you so much, and deeply so, Ntebo, Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much for asking the question, because the Lily Mine matter, it's one of the most painful experience of the new democratic dispensation. I don't have to give you the history. You know the history of Lily Mine. Those 3 victims, Pritin Kambule, Ivan Munisi, and Solomon Nyerende, were murdered. Why I would say that we're murdered is because 2 years before the collapse of that container, the mine management was warned by 2 independent mining engineers about the reckless manner in which they were mining. And 2 years later, unfortunately, tragically, the 3, up to today, almost 8 years now, because February will be 8 years. And as you are aware, I was in Barberton last Tuesday, engaged with the family, because I felt after the Constitutional Court judgment rejecting this appeal that the management were trying, putting that to the end in terms of the appeals. But what was even more profound was the judgment the same week by the Mbombela, the Magistrate Court, where fingered certain people for culpability. So it is for that reason I went to the family to go and get a new mandate. And the reason why I wanted a new mandate, because I think we are, as ActionSA, have taken a decision to take this matter to the next level. Because our law enforcement agencies, as you are aware, they are fingered as being culpable for ignoring the families for a long time. Mine owners as well, including the business rescue practitioners. So with our legal team, we decided to get the mandate so that we can immediately embark on a civil claim against those fingered by the courts. As I'm speaking to you right now, under the stewardship of Advocate Benson, we are busy putting together civil claims on the basis of the Bombela, the court fingering people responsible for the murder of the 3 Lily Mine the victims. So, yeah, one of these days, as I'm saying to you right now, our lawyers are working around the clock. I'm sure you can understand putting together a civil claim is not something you just go and lay it. You go to a police station after getting a car accident. So they are putting together all the evidence over the last, since the 5th of February 2016, when this accident happened, collecting all the information, all the evidence of mining engineers that were on the mine about this, the role of the Department of Minerals Energy in working with mine owners to delay this process. Remember, they, after the collapse, a few months later, lied to us as South Africans that that container cannot really be retrieved. 3 million down the drain of ActionSA in legal fees, where we uncovered this lie that that container can be retrieved. Because one of the companies that wants to buy this mine, one of the conditions is that they will get that container out. When I first went to Lily Mine, when I was the matter was related to me, I immediately saw a gap. Something didn't make sense. And my first brief to the lawyers was, please ask the Department of Minerals Energy to tell us, to give us evidence of what informed them of the decision that that mine cannot be retrieved. Because you can't just stand in front of the mine and say, no, this container cannot be retrieved. I wanted evidence. Fortunate enough, they were unable to produce that evidence even up to today, wasting our time, wasting our money, putting the families in unacceptable conditions. As you are aware, they've been camping at the mine for more than 5 years. They're refusing to go back until such time that that container is retrieved so that they can get the remains of their family members, so that they can give them proper, dignified burials. So as ActionSA, our legal team, under the leadership of Advocate Benson, they are putting together civil claims against those fingered by the court for having been responsible for this particular matter. So I will, we will inform the media the day when they submit their papers to court for civil claims. But on this, at the same time, they will be writing to the MPA, the South African Police Services, to pursue criminal charges against those that are responsible. Lastly, they are going to be engaging the business rescue practitioners, because the business rescue practitioners, they've been in contempt of 2 court orders to take the proposals by interested parties to buy that mine. They've been using the tactics used by the mine management that they were appealing. So they've been in contempt of 2 court orders. Now that the Constitutional Court has made the determination, no longer appeals. This matter, the business rescue practitioners must then present the proposals to the shareholders for them to vote who buys that mine. So that's what our legal team will be doing. So watch the space, and really we hope and pray every day that the 3 families can one day get an opportunity, like all of us, to get an opportunity to give proper burial to our deceased.
No more questions? Thank you so much, guys, for coming. Thank you. No worries.
Right.